Hey, what's up, Jeremy? As promised, this is a demo video for you for your Gungi saber by Jawa's Junkyard. This is a really cool saber installed with a Proffie. There are a few parts that had to be assembled, which is no big deal, or just mainly glued on, rather, right? You had this shroud I glued on, this little piece right here was glued on, and this long piece right here, along with the actual piece right here, the emitter. It was a slip fit in. There was nothing in here to lock it down, so I did adhese it down. It won't come out. What I did was I moved your blade retention screw all the way to the side as far as I could and still have clearance for your Allen key. So at least when you're looking at it like this or like this, it's not an eyesore, but you can get to it from right here. All right. This is a one button setup. So your one switch is right here. Right there. Everything happens from there. This is on a magnet. So when you want to get to the chassis, two things that you have to do. First, you want to take this switch out. All right, so I put it just high enough to where you can come over here with your finger, or your two fingers rather, and pull it out. If you look closely at the base, you can see that I glued that magnet on there, and I glued a magnet to the switch as well, and I'll show you that here in a second. All right. Second thing you want to do is come over here and take this screw out right here. All right, so we'll take that out. That loosens your pommel. Put that over my table so I don't lose it. Now you can come over here from the emitter and just push gently until you see this pop out, just like that. And then you can come over here and pull this all the way out. All right, completely removable chassis. All right, I do have it inside this pommel. Obviously it's a press fit in the pommel. It goes in here a certain way, and if you put it in here a certain way, you'll never have to worry about lining up your switch. There's your switch right there with the magnet glued on it. All right, we'll take this out and I'll show you what I mean. All right, if you pop this off, I do have a spacer in here that doesn't come out, so we'll leave that in there. You've got a 28mm Smokeless Outpost Elite speaker right here. Of course, your Proffie board. Easy access to all your SD card, your micro USB. This is a snap fit down into the shelf though, so if you ever wanted to pop it up, you could. Though there's no really, there's no reason to do that. You can access everything from right here. Of course, you have a removable battery setup, and then you have a Carl Chen PCB right here. All right. Now, when putting this in the pommel, although it will fit anyway, you'll notice that when you're looking at this thing, this is the screw hole for that screw that locks in the pommel to the saber. Now, if you turn it 180 degrees, you've got this groove right here, all right? And that groove lines up with this switch hole right here. Because if you see, you got your screw hole here for your pommel, and then you turn it 180 degrees, and there's the hole for your switch. I know my camera is having a little bit of a hard time focusing on that, but hopefully you can see what I mean there. Right there, right? So switch hole, 180 degrees, screw hole. And the reason I mention that is when I put this pommel on, I want to match up this groove right here to the switch. All right, because if it's along the same plane as the switch, let me do this first, so I can't do this and talk at the same time. We'll pop that all the way in. If this groove is along the same line as this switch right here, you never have to worry about lining up the switch hole to the switch. All right, you just have to worry about lining up the pommel hole to that screw hole. So we'll throw a battery in this guy and I'll show you what I mean. I know it makes sense to me, but hopefully it makes sense to you too. All right, so we'll throw a battery in. This saber is very loud because all the sound is just shooting right out the back. It has the stock font package on it plus my own font. All right. So we'll want to, when we put this in, we'll want to make sure that we line up that screw hole right there that locks the pommel in with this hole right here. All right. So we'll do that now. When those two holes are lined up, by default, your switch is lined up right there. All right, so I'm gonna lock this pommel down real quick. Just tighten it down just like that. Now we can come over here and take our switch that has the magnet on it, right? And we can throw it right in that hole. And it will catch that switch and everything's good to go. It won't fall out. You can come over here and tap it for power. Very loud. Because this is a one button setup, obviously everything happens from here, but I did give you twist off. So power, blaster bolt deflex is just tapping it. We'll throw a blade in. This takes a 7/8 inch Neopixel blade. And we'll come in here from the side of the emitter and we'll lock the blade in. Right? Now we can fire it up. If you want blade lockup, hold down the button and hit the saber.
C.
Switching sound fonts is a long press on the button. All right, now we're into the stock font package. Leg lock up.
Smooth Jedi.
Playing your soundtrack on each font is a double tap on the button, but you have to be quick. All right, so double tap to play, another double tap to turn it off, just like that. All right, we'll go through one more font.
Smooth Gray.
A copy of the config file is on the SD card as well. Just like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll take the blade out. You will need two different size Allen keys, one for your blade retention and then the next size up for your pommel. And they are, I don't remember what size they are off the top of my head, but they're standard. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll take this button head screw out again. Come over here from the emitter, right, and just push it a little bit. Whoops. Don't forget to take your switch out first and then come over here and push it. And then we can pop it off just like that. And then to take the battery out, simply come over from the positive side by your Neopixel connector and pop it out with your finger. All right, and that is basically your Gungi. Let me know if you got any questions and I'll try to get this out in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks, man.